In a busy city market, everybody knew the old man with the small brown box. His name was Mr. Henry. Mr. Henry was not rich. His clothes were simple, his slippers were old, but his hands were strong and skillful. Inside his box were his shoemaker tools: needle, thread, small hammer, polish, and pieces of leather. Every morning, Mr. Henry woke up early. He did not like begging. He believed in hard work. He would walk from street to street, calling softly, "Shoe repair, I can fix your shoes." Sometimes people smiled and brought their slippers. Sometimes people ignored him. But Mr. Henry never stopped. He would sit by a roadside, bend his back, and carefully sew a torn shoe like it was gold. That was how he fed himself. That was how he kept his dignity. One afternoon, the sun was hot, and the market was loud. Cars were honking. Traders were shouting. Children were running. Mr. Henry received a special request that day. A young man from a rich house came to him and said, "Old man, can you deliver these shoes to my boss? He wants them ready today." The shoes were very expensive. Mr. Henry looked at them and nodded. "Yes, I can," he said. The young man gave him an address. It was not just any address. It was the address of a famous billionaire named Jack. Everyone in the city knew Jack. Jack owned a big company that sold electronics and built houses. His face was on billboards. His cars were many. His gate was tall and wide, with strong security men standing like statues. People said Jack was smart. People also said Jack was proud. Mr. Henry did not care about gossip. He only cared about doing his job well. So he took the shoes in a clean nylon bag, placed his toolbox on his head, and walked to the billionaire's area. When Mr. Henry got there, his eyes widened. Jack's house looked like a palace. The compound was huge. The gate alone looked like a wall. Mr. Henry stood outside and took a deep breath. He walked closer and greeted the security men politely. "Good afternoon, my sons," he said. "I came to deliver shoes for Mr. Jack." One of the security men looked at him up and down. "What shoes?" the man asked. Mr. Henry opened the nylon bag a little and showed him. The security man nodded. "Sit there," he said, pointing to a small space close to the gate. "We will call inside." Mr. Henry sat down near the gate, under a small shade from a tree. He did not enter. He did not argue. He just waited. As he waited, he noticed something. One of the shoes had a small loose thread. Mr. Henry was a careful man. He did not like giving out work that was not perfect. So he gently brought out his tools and started fixing the small thread. He bent low and worked quietly. People passing by stared at him. Some whispered, "What is an old man doing at Jack's gate?" Some shook their heads. Mr. Henry ignored them. He focused on the shoe. Just then, a loud engine sound came from inside the compound. The gate slowly opened. A shiny black car rolled out like a king leaving his palace. The car was so clean that it reflected the sunlight. Mr. Henry lifted his head slightly. He saw Jack sitting in the back seat, wearing dark glasses. His shirt was white and smooth. His wristwatch looked heavy and expensive. Jack was talking on the phone, his voice loud and sharp. When the car moved closer to the gate, Jack's eyes fell on Mr. Henry. Jack's face changed. It was not a friendly change. It was a look of disgust, like he had seen dirt on his clean road. The car stopped for a moment as security cleared the way. Jack leaned forward and pointed his finger at Mr. Henry. He did not point gently. He pointed in a way that made Mr. Henry feel small. "What is this?" Jack shouted. "Who is this old man sitting at my gate like a beggar?" Mr. Henry stood up quickly, holding the shoe and nylon bag. He tried to smile. "Good afternoon, sir," he said calmly. "I am Mr. Henry. I came to deliver your shoes. I was just fixing a small thread." "Stop!" Jack shouted again, louder this time. People on the street began to look. Some even stopped walking. And Jack pointed again and spoke like he was angry with the air. "Don't you ever come near my house again," he said. "Do you hear me? Don't sit near my gate. This is not a market." Mr. Henry's smile faded. He still tried to speak respectfully. "Sir, I was asked to deliver—" Jack cut him off. "Deliver what?" Jack snapped. "Is this what you do with your life? Sitting on the ground like a helpless person, begging people to bring out shoes for you?" Mr. Henry's heart beat fast. His cheeks grew hot. He felt the eyes of strangers on him. He felt shame like a heavy stone. Jack continued, his voice full of pride. "Go and find better work," Jack shouted. "Use your head. Stop disturbing important people. I don't want to see you near my house again." Then Jack leaned back and said to the driver, "To move." The car rolled forward and drove away. The gate began to close again. Mr. Henry stood there, frozen. The shoe bag was still in his hand. His tools were still on the ground. For a few seconds, he could not breathe well. He felt embarrassed. He felt insulted. He felt like a man had poured dirty water on his head in front of everyone. The security men looked away, pretending they did not see his face. People began to whisper again. Mr. Henry slowly picked up his tools. His hands shook. He tried to swallow the pain in his throat, but it refused to go down. Then something changed inside him. His eyes became hard, his lips pressed together. He looked at the road where Jack's car had disappeared, and in a low voice that carried deep anger, he spoke. "Jack," he said, "you have insulted my hard work. You have shamed me like I am nothing." He held up his hand slightly, as if he was speaking to the wind. "You will regret this," Mr. Henry said, his voice shaking. "A day will come when you will beg to feed your family. A day will come when you will know how it feels to be powerless." The security men looked at him quickly, startled. Mr. Henry did not care. He packed his tools, picked up his box, and turned away from the gate. As he walked back toward the market, his steps were slow, his heart was heavy, but his words had already left his mouth like an arrow. And in that same moment, far away in Jack's company office, something small began to go wrong, like the first crack in a tall wall. Jack did not think about the old man again. As his black car moved fast through the city, he adjusted his dark glasses and continued his phone call. "Yes, sign the deal," he said proudly. "We cannot lose. My company is too strong." He laughed. Jack believed nothing could touch him. He had money. He had power. He had people who feared him. How could one poor shoemaker matter? Back at Jack's office, the building stood tall and shiny. Glass walls reflected the sky. Workers moved quickly, afraid to make mistakes. Jack entered like a king. "Good morning, sir," everyone greeted. Jack only nodded. He sat in his big chair and opened his laptop. Numbers filled the screen, charts went up and down. Normally, Jack smiled at these numbers, but that day, something felt strange. His phone rang. It was his finance manager. "Sir," the man said carefully, "there is a small problem." Jack frowned. "Gosh, what problem?" he asked sharply. "One of our foreign partners has delayed payment," the manager explained. "They say they need more time." Jack leaned back. "That is nothing," he said. "We have many partners." But before he could end the call, another phone rang, then another, then another. By midday, Jack had received 5 bad calls. One building project stopped because of land issues. One supplier refused to deliver materials. One bank asked questions about old loans. Jack slammed his table. "What nonsense is this?" he shouted. "Fix it." His workers rushed around like ants whose home had been kicked. Still, Jack believed it was only a bad day. That night at home, Jack ate his dinner quietly. His wife Linda noticed his silence. "You are quiet today," she said gently. "Is everything okay?" Jack forced a smile. "Oh, everything is fine," he said. "Just small work stress." But inside, Jack felt uneasy. He slept late that night. In his sleep, he dreamed. He saw himself standing at a tall gate. He knocked and knocked, but no one opened. Then he looked down and saw he was holding worn shoes. He woke up suddenly, sweating. "Just a dream," he said, and went back to sleep. The next morning, things got worse. Jack arrived at the office and found many serious faces. "Sir," the legal officer said, "we have a court case." Jack's eyes widened. "A court case," he repeated. "About what?" "An old contract," the man said. "A company says we cheated them." "That is a lie," Jack shouted. But lies or not, the case was real. News spread fast. Blogs wrote stories. People began to talk. Jack's name appeared in newspapers, not in praise, but in trouble. Or his company shares began to fall. Jack tried to stay calm, but his temper grew worse. He shouted at workers. He fired people without reason. Fear filled the office. At home, Linda worried. "Jack," she said one evening, "you are changing. You don't sleep. You don't eat well." Jack waved his hand. "Leave me," he said. "I will fix everything." But he did not fix anything. Instead, things kept breaking. A big investor pulled out. A loan payment was missed. The bank sent warning letters. Jack's heart beat fast every day. Then one afternoon, Jack sat alone in his office when a strange thought entered his mind. The old man, the shoemaker, the way the man looked at him, the words the man said. "You will regret this. You will beg to feed your family." Jack shook his head. "No," he whispered. "Or that is foolish." But the thought refused to leave. That same evening, Jack decided to drive himself. As he waited at a traffic light, he saw something on the roadside, an old man fixing shoes. The man bent low, focused on his work. Jack's chest tightened. The light changed and he drove away fast. At home, Jack's children ran to him. "Daddy!" they shouted. Jack hugged them, but his hands trembled. Later that night, Linda spoke again. "We may need to reduce spending," she said softly. "Things are not clear anymore," Jack snapped. "Don't talk like that," he shouted. Linda became quiet. Jack felt alone, even in his own house. Weeks passed. The company that once stood strong began to shake. Jack sold one car, then another, then one house. Still, it was not enough. One morning, the bank finally came. They locked the company building. Jack stood outside, watching his workers leave with sad faces. His knees felt weak. This was not a dream. This was real. Jack went home slowly. Linda was waiting. "What happened?" she asked. Jack sat down heavily. "It's over," he said. "The company has collapsed." Linda covered her mouth. The children watched quietly, afraid. Days later, money finished. Food became little. Jack sold his watch, then his phone. Soon Jack found himself walking the streets. One afternoon, hunger pushed him. He stood at the side of the road, head down, hand stretched. "Please," he whispered, "help me." A passerby looked at him and said, "Go and find better work." Jack froze. Those words, they sounded too familiar. His eyes filled with tears. He remembered the gate, the pointing finger, the old man's face. Jack dropped his hand and whispered to himself, "I understand now." But Mr. Henry was far away, still working quietly, unaware that the curse spoken in pain had already changed a powerful life. And Jack's journey was not yet over. Jack never imagined this life. The same streets where people once bowed to him were now places he avoided. He walked with his head down, wearing old clothes he bought from a roadside stall. His shoes were worn, his pride was broken, hunger became his daily friend. Some days he ate once, some days he did not eat at all. Jack tried to find work. He went to offices with his old resume. When people heard his name, some laughed. "You are the Jack?" one man asked. "The billionaire who lost everything?" Others shook their heads. "We don't need you," they said. And Jack returned home each evening tired and empty. Linda tried to stay strong. She cooked small meals. She encouraged the children. But Jack could see fear in her eyes. One night, when everyone was asleep, Jack sat alone in the dark room. He remembered his big house, his loud laughter, his proud voice, and then the old man, the shoemaker, the insult. Jack buried his face in his hands. "I was wrong," he whispered. "So wrong." The next morning, Jack made a decision. He would not beg anymore. He would work, any work. He walked through the market, asking questions. At last, a shop owner spoke. "I need someone to clean the store," the man said. "The pay is small." Jack nodded quickly. "I will do it," he said. For the first time in many years, Jack held a broom. He swept floors. He cleaned dust. And people passing by looked closely. "Is that not Jack?" someone whispered. Jack pretended not to hear. Every sweep of the broom felt like a lesson. That afternoon, while cleaning near the roadside, Jack saw something that made his heart stop. An old man sat under a tree. He was bent. His hair was white. Beside him was a small brown box, Shoemaker tools. Jack's hands trembled. It was Mr. Henry, the same old man, the shoemaker he insulted. Mr. Henry was fixing a child's sandal. His face was calm. His hands moved with care. Jack stood still. His heart beat loudly. He wanted to run, but his feet refused. He slowly walked closer. Mr. Henry looked up. Their eyes met. Mr. Henry's face showed surprise, but not anger, just quiet recognition. Jack swallowed hard. "Sir," Jack said softly. Mr. Henry studied him. Then he spoke. "Yes?" he asked. Jack felt his knees weaken. I am Jack," he said, "the man from the gate." Mr. Henry nodded slowly. "I know," he said. Jack's voice shook. "I was proud," Jack said. "I was cruel. I insulted you for no reason." People nearby slowed down to listen. Jack did not care. "I lost everything," he continued. "My company failed. My money is gone. My family is suffering." Mr. Henry listened without interrupting. Jack took a deep breath. "I am sorry," he said, bowing his head. "I spoke badly to you. I laughed at your work. Please forgive me." Silence followed. The market noise seemed far away. Mr. Henry looked at Jack carefully. He saw the pain. He saw the change. He saw a broken man. "You hurt me that day," Mr. Henry said calmly. "Not because I am poor, but because you mocked honest work." Jack nodded, tears falling. "I know," he said. Mr. Henry sighed. Anger pushed words out of my mouth, he said slowly. Words spoken in pain are dangerous. Jack looked up. I do not blame you, Jack said. I blame myself. Mr. Henry closed his toolbox. He stood up slowly. Sit, he said. Jack sat on the ground without thinking. People watched in silence. Hard work feeds a man, Mr. Henry said. Respect keeps him alive inside. Jack nodded again. I want to change, Jack said. Even if my life stays small, I want to be good. Mr. Henry placed a hand on Jack's shoulder. The past cannot be erased, he said, but the future can be written better. Jack's chest felt lighter. Mr. Henry reached into his box and brought out a small piece of bread. Eat, he said. A man cannot think well on an empty stomach. Jack hesitated, then he accepted it with shaking hands. He ate slowly. That day, Jack helped Mr. Henry carry his tools. They walked together. People whispered in shock. The proud billionaire now walking beside a shoemaker. But Jack felt peace for the first time in many months. As the sun began to set, Mr. Henry spoke again. Come tomorrow, he said. I may need help. Jack smiled faintly. I will come, he said. That night, Jack returned home with a calm heart. Linda noticed the change. You look different, she said. Jack nodded. I met someone, he said. Someone I wronged. Linda smiled gently. Maybe this is the beginning, she said. Jack looked at his children sleeping on the floor. He whispered, I will rebuild, not with pride, but with kindness. Far away, and under the same tree, Mr. Henry packed his tools. He looked at the sky and spoke quietly. Anger has ended, he said. Let mercy begin. The next morning, Jack woke up before the sun. For the first time in many weeks, he did not wake up with fear in his chest. He washed his face with cold water and wore his simple clothes. Then he walked toward the market, his heart steady but careful. When he reached the old tree, Mr. Henry was already there. The old man was arranging his tools neatly, just like always. You came, Mr. Henry said, looking up. Yes, sir, Jack replied. I promised. Mr. Henry nodded. Good, he said. Promises are seeds. If you water them, they grow. That day, Jack learned what real work felt like. He watched Mr. Henry closely. He learned how to hold a shoe gently, like it was alive. And he learned how to pull thread without tearing leather. He learned patience. When Jack made mistakes, Mr. Henry did not shout. He only said, slowly, rushing breaks things. People began to notice Jack. Some laughed, some pointed. Is that not the proud billionaire? They whispered. Jack heard them, but he did not answer. He kept working. Sweat ran down his face. His fingers hurt, but his heart felt clean. By afternoon, Mr. Henry gave Jack his first task. Fix this sandal, he said, handing it over. Jack's hands shook. He worked slowly. When he finished, the sandal was not perfect, but it held. Mr. Henry smiled. It will walk, he said. That smile meant more to Jack than money ever did. Days turned into weeks. Jack came every morning. He helped carry tools. He cleaned shoes. He spoke kindly to customers. Slowly, our people stopped laughing. They began to respect his effort. One woman said, people can change. Another said, hard times teach good lessons. At home, Linda noticed the difference. Jack came back tired but peaceful. He shared his small earnings. They laughed again at night. The children smiled more. One evening, Jack spoke to Mr. Henry as they walked home. I think about that day often, Jack said. At my gate. Mr. Henry nodded. I think about it too, he said. I wish I could take my words back, Jack said. Mr. Henry stopped walking. He turned to Jack. Listen carefully, he said. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is choosing peace. Jack bowed his head. I forgive you, Mr. Henry said softly. Jack's eyes filled with tears. Thank you, he whispered. From that day, something changed. More customers came. They liked the story of the old man and the fallen rich man working together. One afternoon, a well-dressed man stopped by. He watched quietly. Then he asked, Who taught you both this trade? Mr. Henry smiled. Life, he said. The man nodded. I own a small shoe shop, he said. I need honest workers. Jack's heart beat fast. Mr. Henry looked at Jack. This man has learned humility, Mr. Henry said. His hands are still learning. The man smiled. Learning hands are good hands, he said. He gave Jack an address. Come tomorrow, he said. That night, Jack could not sleep, not from fear, but from hope. The next day, Jack went to the shop. It was small, but it was clean. He worked hard. The owner noticed. Soon Jack was trusted with more work. Weeks later, Jack earned enough to move his family into a better room. And not big, not rich, but safe. One evening, Jack returned to the tree. Mr. Henry was packing his tools. "I got a job," Jack said, smiling. Mr. Henry smiled back. "I knew you would," he said. Jack hesitated. "Sir," he said, "I want to help others now, like you helped me." Mr. Henry placed a hand on his shoulder. "Then the lesson is complete," he said. As the sun set, Jack looked at the road ahead. It was long, but it was honest. And somewhere inside him, a broken man was becoming whole again. The months that followed were quiet, but they were full of growth. Jack worked hard at the small shoe shop every day. He arrived early and left late. He listened more than he spoke. He learned not just how to fix shoes, but how to treat people with respect. The shop owner trusted him. Customers trusted him too. And some even asked Jack for advice, not knowing who he once was. Jack never told them. At home, life slowly became better. Linda smiled more. The children returned to school. Their meals were simple, but they were eaten with joy. One evening, Jack sat with his family and said, "We may never be rich again, but we will always be thankful." Linda nodded. "Peace is better than pride," she said. Jack understood those words deeply. Every weekend, Jack still visited Mr. Henry. Sometimes he brought food, sometimes he brought medicine. Sometimes he only brought his time. They sat under the old tree and talked. Mr. Henry was getting weaker with age, but his eyes were still kind. One afternoon, Mr. Henry spoke softly. "Jack," he said, "my strength is fading. Soon I may not walk these streets again." Jack felt his throat tighten. "You will rest," Jack said quickly. "I will take care of you." Mr. Henry smiled. "You already have," he said. That same week, something unexpected happened. The owner of Jack's old company came looking for him. The man had heard of Jack's change. He found Jack at the shoe shop, wearing simple clothes, working quietly. "Jack," the man said, shocked, "is this really you?" Jack stood up respectfully. "Yes," he said, "it is me." The man cleared his throat. "The company's debts have been settled," he said. "Some partners returned. They want you back, not as a boss, but as an advisor." Jack was silent. He thought of the past. He thought of his pride. He thought of Mr. Henry. "I will accept," Jack said slowly, "but on one condition." The man nodded. "I want fair treatment for workers," Jack said. "No insults, no pride. Honest work only." The man agreed. When Jack told Mr. Henry the news, the old man closed his eyes and smiled. "You have learned," he said. "Power must kneel to kindness." Jack returned to the business world carefully. This time he spoke gently. He listened. He paid workers on time. The company grew again, but differently, not louder, not proud, just steady and fair. Jack never forgot the market. He helped small workers. He opened a free shoe repair stand once a week with Mr. Henry's name on it. One morning, Jack found Mr. Henry resting quietly under the tree. His eyes were closed. His face was peaceful. Mr. Henry had passed away gently, like a candle going out. Jack knelt beside him and cried, not tears of pain, tears of gratitude. At the small burial, Jack stood before the crowd. This man taught me how to be human," Jack said. "He forgave me when I deserved nothing." Years later, Jack told his children the story often. "Never mock honest work," he said. "Never insult the poor. You never know who will save you." And whenever Jack passed a shoemaker on the road, he stopped. He greeted them with respect. Because he knew the truth now, a man is not measured by his money, but by his heart. What is your view about this story? Where are you watching from? If you like the story, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories.